Hello and welcome back to the Stacey West YouTube channel, and welcome to the first Cup preview of the new season. For those that are unaware, Tuesday night we have an away game at Notts County. So to talk all things Notts County and all things that game, I'm joined by Tom from Notts County Talk. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, we're all good, all good. Really looking forward to the game actually on Tuesday. It's a nice little local rivalry. You know, we had a few years playing each other and we had some really good games. So hopefully it'll be sort of a new version of that, if you like, a modern version. I say that it's been about what four years, I feel, since we last played each other in a competitive fixture.
Something like that. We're a very different team now. Very different, yeah.
Yeah, maybe even slightly longer than that actually. But yes, it'll be really good. One to really look forward to. But talking kind of away from the positives, I think we've both got to mention the games that we had yesterday. So we're recording this on Sunday. Let's start with yourselves. Sutton United.
Yeah.
As bad as the scoreline suggests, or
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I don't think even the most optimistic Sutton fan wouldn't have predicted 5-1. The most pessimistic Notts fan wouldn't have predicted 5-1. No one would have predicted that. But I'm not going to say, I know we got a red card, stay here and say that we got a red card and that's the reason we lost the game. We were bullied, absolutely bullied. We've come up against some big sides in non-league, Boreham Woods, Bromleys, and we've had the quality to deal with them. Sutton were a different beast, absolutely huge. Striker 6'5", defender 6'6". Yeah, it was from start to finish. It was a bit of a horror show, and I don't know if you've heard any of Luke Williams' post-match, basically saying that he said he could have put the fans on and they wouldn't have played as badly.
Wow.
And yeah, being very honest about the players, but he's got high standards, and we were absolutely awful. And if ever the term reality check was needed to be used, it was yesterday.
So what was it? Was it just naivety from yourselves going into the game, not expecting, you're back in the league, you're not expecting quite as much of a physical game, or what was it that really went wrong?
I think when you're a Premier League player, all this stuff that goes on social media doesn't necessarily get seen. But when you lower down the divisions, I think you're more exposed to it. And whether the players saw it or not, there's been some pressure building in like the League Two community that Notts are going to go up. Yeah. And there's people, ourselves on the channel, put Notts third. There's people putting them second. A couple of people putting them first. And whether that pressure's building, and then there's all this behind the oldest professional football league club now back in the EFL. Like there's non-stop talk back in the Football League, back in the Football League, back in the Football League. The way we won the playoffs, such a great way to win it. And all of a sudden we're getting not quite as much, but we're getting exposure on Wrexham, sort of. Not their level, but the expectations are there, and people are starting to put us above Wrexham. And I just think we kind of froze on the day. I think we underestimated Sutton. And without being disrespectful, there was probably 5 or 6 teams last year that really challenged Notts in the league. Yeah. Some games we were playing at like 40, 30%. And Aaron, the man who we had on our channel earlier, at the end of last season, said some training sessions were tougher than some of the games in the league. And I don't know whether you're sort of stuck on autopilot. You're not going to get any of those games this season. Even the team that finishes 24th are going to give you a tough game. It's a Football League. You don't have the luxury of having time on the ball. They were so fit yesterday, Sutton. Pressed us and pressed and pressed us. Whereas last year, teams could press for 50 minutes, 60 minutes, and then they were tired out. So it's a combination of things. We were royally battered yesterday.
Well, you saw that even in the playoffs. You were given some really good games, a couple of really good games, but at the end, you did have the quality, and it's not about, you're not going to have the kind of waiting game of just, like you say, getting to that 60, 70th minute mark and then being able to continue to pummel teams, because that's just not the way that the Football League's going to go. Like you say, and it's funny, mentioning teams that whatever team finishes 24th could still go out and batter you. Look at Crawley. A lot of people have put Crawley down there, myself included.
Yeah.
And they went ahead and beat Bradford yesterday. So any team can do it on the day in League Two, League One, any of them.
Yeah, definitely.
So kind of looking ahead to Tuesday. Obviously, I know you said that there's a lot of kind of pressure been put on you, and maybe the fact that it's a home game that could get intensified. Do you really worry about
that? Lou Williams had a year in charge, and we went out in the cup in the first round of the FA Cup, and we went out in the first round of the FA Trophy, a competition I'm glad we're not in anymore. Interesting competition. We lost to Colville, who were like 3 leagues below.
Yeah.
I don't think, and it's the best thing that happened to us because we were competing with Wrexham, who had a very strong team. We luckily didn't have massive amount of injuries, but didn't have the biggest squad. So I don't know how we'll take it, but I think it will be taken a lot more seriously, especially because of what's just happened. And I think there'll be a reaction. Not necessarily, I'm not saying we're going to go out and thump you, but we're not. There's the players I don't think would dare put in the performance that happened on yesterday.
If anything, yesterday was the worst thing that could have happened for us, going into Tuesday. Because you are going to need to show something. And the fact that it's at home, I mean, we've been saying it for a couple of weeks. We haven't written off the game because we still feel that we've got quality in depth in our squad, that even if we rotated some of the players, we're still going to be able to give you a really good game. But your first game back at home, obviously it's not in the league, but back in, since you've come back up into the Football League, there's going to be a really good atmosphere. You're going to be really hungry for it. And you're going to be a very, very tough team to play against. You could be at home to a Championship side in that Tuesday, and people are they're still going to get scared because you're going to want it. You're going to really be have the appetite to go through, get a bit of a cup run going, because that's it. By October, November, January times, when you're in the FA Cup, you're going to be also wanting to focus on the league. This is your chance to really push through into the cup, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I worry about, and it echoes what Notts fans have said leaving the game yesterday because I was there and on social media. I do worry about us defensively because last year, I've already said, the quality wasn't there. We gave, I think, Altrincham at Meadow Lane came to Meadow Lane and they had a 1-on-1, they hit the bar. And they had another chance straight at the keeper. And then we went on to win 3-0, 2-0.
Right.
Whereas Sutton yesterday had 7 or 8 chances, put 5 away and hit the post on another one. We played Stoke in pre-season, and defensively, they scored 4 by half time. I just come off a phone call to George, who couldn't make the game because he got called into work yesterday, and he was saying, what was it like defensively? And I said to him, if we come up in the cup, we get through and we come up against a big Championship side at the top of the table. I said, I could see us conceding a lot of goals because there's calls for us that we need 2 more centre-backs at least. We just look very, very vulnerable. And I don't know what your start forward line's like. If you've got a big player in there, that's the blueprint from yesterday. When you get bullied.
We've got, if Ben Howe starts, which I believe he will, because I'm not too sure what Tyler Walker's fitness levels are going to be like, considering he did 45 yesterday. If we've got Ben Howe starting, he's a player who is unbelievably physical. He's not necessarily the tallest player on the pitch, but my God, does he put his body about? And he will press you, and he wants your defenders to have the ball so that he can press them.
And that's where we struggle. That's where we struggled yesterday. The red card that we got came from being pressed, back pass. I think it held up a little bit because of how much it'd been raining. And next thing you know, we're down to 10 men and the game's gone. So
you sort of mentioned there about the 10 men. Obviously, the suspension does carry over into the cup because that was something I wasn't 100% sure on myself, so I had to double check. But obviously, it does carry over. So for those that haven't seen, it was Aidan Stone, the goalkeeper, who got red carded. First of all, should it have been?
Twitter's very 50-50. I said on our video yesterday, first look, no, because there was men covering. Yeah. The more I look at it, I think he might even touch it with his hand outside the box, which if he does, straight red. The ref's pretty much on top of it. Yeah. I can't see it from where I am. I think he might have got a hand to it, which means obviously it's a red. So probably, yeah, in the end.
You see, I'm not 100% sure on the handball thing. I didn't think he'd necessarily touched it with his hand. But in terms of purely the foul, if you like, if you take away the handball part of it, I thought it was a very harsh red card. Purely because was it Richard Brindley that was covering? And
there was definitely
cover. Quite easily have got it. So I thought it was a very harsh red card. But nonetheless, it is a red card. So are we expecting Sam Slocum to be starting?
Almost 100%, yeah.
So Sam Slocum also being former Lincoln, never made a league appearance for us, but played a couple of games in the Carabao Cup and a few in the Papa John's Trophy back in, I think it was 2019. The first half of that season, he was on loan from Bristol Rovers to us. He's been an all right keeper for you, hasn't he? It's not exactly too much of a step down, or?
No, he's a very good pro. He's a very good pro. Never moans about anything. I mean, a couple of seasons ago under Ian Birchnell, didn't quite fancy him. He was out for when a lone keeper came in, and the lone Patterson at Sunderland came back for one game and then got recalled, and then Slocum just came back, slotted back in. Solid keeper. Got a lot better with his feet, shot stopping ability. So it's decent, but yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be okay.
So in terms of the other players on the pitch, obviously we're still in the transfer window and such, but who's kind of been your, without naming David McGoldrick, because that's just the lazy one and easy one to say, who's been your kind of key, your standout transfer for you so far that you think, wow, he's going to be one hell of a player for us?
That's a good question. Like, I sound like I've been very negative so far about us, but I did just drive 9 hours yesterday to see us lose 5-1. So, like, defensively,
I know the feeling.
Defensively, there's a bit of a struggle there, but attacking-wise, I think we're really impressive. Yeah. I'd say Jody Jones, even though we had him on loan last season, but we signed him permanently when he was released from Oxford. So he's a very, very good player. Very, very interesting to watch. Likes to beat a man. Scored a 120th minute winner in the semi-final against Boreham Wood. Just a very good player, blighted by 2 ACL injuries, I think, and he's finally, touch wood, started to find fitness, and he's played, you're looking at a good 8-9 months of football now. And then Dan Crowley from Morecambe.
I think that's a brilliant signing for you at that level.
He's
the one I picked out and that I've written down, I've got to be honest.
He played for about 20 minutes yesterday. Obviously, we don't know if he'd have played more because the system had to change with the red, but
yes,
I think he'll almost definitely play 90 tomorrow against you, just to get him in the lineup. I don't think we'll see David McGoldrick. He was looking tired at the end of that, running around with added time now. I know we got the red card in the 15th minute, but we played 95 minutes with 10 men, really. Yeah. So I don't think we'll see him. But.
No, that's understandable. But yeah, no, I very much picked out Crowley as the not your signing of the summer. Obviously, you've got some absolutely incredible signings. Ones you've already mentioned in Jody Jones and David McGoldrick, obviously. But to me, he seems like he's the sort of player that will definitely do one heck of a job for you at that level for this season. So when I'm slightly worried about facing again. Seeing as we talk about the players, then what kind of system are we expecting to line up in?
Probably.
I know it's hard to say after yesterday.
Probably a 5 at the back, and then we usually play, two or 3 in the middle. If we play 3 in the middle, it's usually just the front 2. If we play 2 in the middle, it's someone floating behind the front 2. Right. But we did see in pre-season against Forest, we got battered by Stoke, and then he went to a 4 at the back, like a 4-3-3. So whether he'll try that again, I don't know. Whatever it will be, it will try to be very possession based. Yeah, that's for sure. But I would say he might in the cup try that back 4 again, because we lost 5-1 to Stoke with 5 at the back. Forest came and we lost 1-0 and it was our own fault, mistake, and we should really have got something out. I know no points off grabs, but we should have got a draw out of that game. So I won't be surprised if we see a 4 at the back.
If you were to play a back 4, are your fullbacks likely to push forward a lot or slightly less so?
On the right, definitely. It'll be Toby Adebayo rolling, I think. Very quick, very, very athletic player. Something like 6'1",
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of him. On the left-hand side, it'll be Adam Chickson, more conservative left back, won't bomb forward as much, but can put a decent cross in. So if we're attacking from the fullbacks, it'll be down that right-hand side.
Right. Okay. That's interesting, because the only reason I ask is the personnel that we put out yesterday suggested as though it was going to be a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, however you want to call it. But that didn't end up being the case, and it ended up being the system that we played for most of last season, which was a 5-2-3, a 3-4-3. So the reason I was wondering is because our two wingers, if you like, are very narrow, and they're players kind of more two wide number 10s. So if we were then to be able to have a front three, and let's say you had two, if you have one fullback pushing up on one side, for example, then we might just be able to overload. And if you've already said that your defenders aren't necessarily the most comfortable on the ball, and we're going to be able to capitalise on that, it's an area where I could see us being able to hopefully benefit from letting you have the possession at the back and overload you, stop you from getting out, which it'll be a really interesting game on the kind of tactical side of it.
Yeah, it depends how much you want to press us, because if you decide to sit back, then it suits us much more.
Yeah.
If you want to press us with, quality you've got, and anyone that's not been in the National League so far, we've seen Sutton and Wrexham did it as well. They were better than National League quality. We've struggled.
Yeah.
So, and you said about that's your striker that likes to let centre backs have the ball. So
and either nick it off them or really push it into one area of the pitch, so that you just have to boot it long and you really can't build out from the back is something.
I think we will see Ollie Tipton start as centre back. Young lad from Wolves on loan.
Yes.
Haven't seen a lot of him, but apparently much more comfortable with the ball at his feet. It's supposed to be really like a good prospect for Wolves. So I think we'll see him, but he, for me, would be a bit of an anomaly for tomorrow. For Tuesday. I'm not sure I'm not sure where he would play if it was a back three, but yeah. Interesting.
Okay. So I guess to kind of wrap it up, and I ask this on every preview, score prediction. How optimistic are you?
After yesterday, I'm probably more optimistic, because I think he'll want the reaction. Am I right in thinking this goes straight to extra time?
Straight to penalties,
Straight to penalties. So
yeah, I believe as much.
I'll go Notts to win on penalties after a 1-1.
It's funny, because I was just about to say a 2-2 draw. And obviously, I have to go with Lincoln to win on penalties. So, yeah, a 2-2 draw with an away penalty win. Because I do think that you're going to get a couple of goals. But obviously, you've spoken about a slightly leaky defence. So hopefully it'll be nice for us just to get a couple of goals and sort of see our attacking threat really thrive against you. So that'll be really promising. Well, obviously, good luck for the game on Tuesday. Not too much luck. And then more good luck for the rest of the season. I'm sure it'd be nice to play you in the league next season, and not us in League Two. So definitely really good luck with the season. And for those that are attending the game on Tuesday, enjoy. It should be a really good one. I'm not actually sure how many we're taking, but hopefully a good few. So enjoy the game. Make sure to check out all of the other content on our YouTube channel. Make sure to go and check out Notts County Talks. Like I say, good luck for the rest of the season, and up the Imps.